With Victor Teo in Singapore. He's a political scientist and Indo-Pacific affairs analyst. Welcome back to the programme, Victor. Now, a 0.2% expansion against a 1.6% forecast is a massive miss. Where did economists get it so wrong?
Well, I think it's not unusual for economists to get it wrong. I mean, there have been questions about this sort of forecast because when the I remember when the Asian financial crisis happened in the mid-1990s and also during the subprime crisis. In the aftermath of both crises, a lot of people were questioning why were there so many economists around and how come nobody forecast all these problems were happening. So, but in Japan's case, I think it's due to a few reasons. First of all, I think the last couple of years has been unusual in terms of the trade. Last few years, not the last couple of years, has been unusual because of the trade and the tech war that has been ongoing. So Japan is actually susceptible to the external trade shocks because of what's happening between China and Japan. And these are the two principal trading partners of Japan. I think the second problem is to do with the volatility in GDP growth. In the case of Japan, it's particularly bad because especially when it comes to every quarterly estimates. So there is also some sort of there have been studies that suggest that there is a bias in forecast when it comes to Japan. Most analysts would actually forecast things in a more positive way for Japan, especially for Japan. I don't know why, but even the Japanese scholars themselves have been talking about this. I think overall there are also other issues such as there are a lot of firms in Japan that have been surviving on cheap loans, and this is creating a problem for the forecast to do with the economic forecast as well. So all these factors add up to create this problem for Japan.
Right, and Prime Minister Takaichi has signalled more proactive spending and even possible tax relief on food. Will these measures meaningfully lift growth or mainly provide short-term support?
Well, I think politically she's going to be in a difficult position because what the economic plans that she's been saying that she will implement is something modeled after Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's what people call Abenomics. So there are three arrows to this. First of all, to increase to embark on an expansionist monetary supply. But during Abe's time, the inflation rate was about 0%. But now Japan has something like above 2 to 3% inflationary rate. So it's going to be very challenging. The second aspect of this is like what you said, to increase the expenditure in selected sectors and industries. So she's saying we should spend more money on defense, spend money on AI, spend more money on building a more resilient and capable military. And the market has reacted to her plans with some concern because everybody's asking, where is this money coming from? Especially Japan has a very high debt ratio. So this is creating a lot of concerns amongst investors outside and within Japan. And of course, she's also saying that, well, she wants to toughen up immigration policies. She wants to make sure that she enhances supply chain resilience, economic security. So this is a few things. First of all, she wants to move away from China. So she's taking a more independent stance insofar when her established supply chain is concerned. And secondly, she's saying that, well, we want to make sure all the foreigners that come into Japan are vetted. So this actually goes against the third of the arrows, which is to build a more competitive Japanese economy, and especially with declining demographic. The Japanese population is aging very quickly. So it remains to be seen how all these policies can add up to make Japanese economy more competitive. So going forward, she would have very different ideas from what the Bank of Japan bankers want to do with all these policies, and it's going to be a very tight balancing act for her, I think, in the coming year.
Victor Teo in Singapore, thank you very much for that analysis.